Welcome back to the show, Everything Black. I'm your host with the most, Lord Peace. Peace and love. Hope you're doing well. We got another important topic that I wanted to get to. And all these videos are freestyle, by the way. So if I'm stuttering and I gotta, gather my thoughts, please don't mind me. I'll get better in time. You know what I mean? I need passive income, but I don't need to work that hard to get there. Getting to it. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, so today's topic is you do not pick the president of the United States. You or they or them did not choose, or their votes did not choose Trump. The black people's votes didn't choose Obama. The people's vote didn't choose JFK, President Nixon, none of that. None of those majority of races that you guys keep dear to your heart. Shouts out to the Kennedy family. So this is another introduction to the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. No, you didn't. This information, by the way, like you say in the title says, and the Electoral College winner is for Best Actor. Basically, we have either Trump or Obama. You basically chose an actor. The reason why you chose an actor is because it clearly states where, I'm not sure, but if you Google it, it'll tell you, and it clearly states that the Electoral College vote picks the president. It clearly states that. They say it in the news when they say, they say such and such got Electoral College votes, so the president has been handed to such and such. You know what I'm saying? Let me say what got me. What had me tripping on this topic was years ago on Facebook. People called me crazy and all that other stuff. And I was going crazy because it was about that time where Colin Kaepernick was kneeling. And it was just weird to me how we was all proud people and, we was all on Facebook. We was talking that pro-black stuff. And then Colin Kaepernick brings up injustice in the black community and police brutality. And he's saying basically boycott the NFL. All of a sudden, that pro-black shit went out the window. Right? It was right around that time. It was a very confusing time. Right? So, probably should do a video about that. So it was the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump. And it said it on the news. You can clearly see it said Hillary Clinton had 2 million more popular votes than Donald Trump, but Donald Trump got the Electoral College vote, so he's the president. Right? And I was a little older then, I guess, because even my dad can't even put the shit together, right? So it's quite obvious the popular vote is the people, right? We can't vote into the electoral. We can't participate in the Electoral College vote. I'm not even sure. Now that I read it, you don't vote for the Electoral College candidates or elector or the slate of electors. You don't. You know what I'm saying? The way my dad explained to me, we voted in the electors. He know goddamn well he didn't never vote for no Electoral College votes. But you know what? I just had to understand about sometimes blood is not thicker than water, man. Sometimes people just naturally got a hate for you, but they'll keep you around for whatever reason. So, but anyway, that's either here or there. So that's what got me, and that's what me digging the subject, and people said I was crazy. So let's get into it. So I know you pretty much. I just told you what it was. The Electoral College puts in the president, but nowadays, we have artificial intelligence, so we don't have to jump on the bandwagon, and I can. But this is the key thing. I can take off my foil hat because now I can ask chat-GPT, and then they'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. So that's what I did. So let's get into it. Let me bring it up and let me read it. Basically, I asked them, hopefully you can see this, but basically I asked them, does the Electoral College vote pick the president? Here's their response. Yes, the Electoral College vote is the process by which the President of the United States is officially selected. When the voters cast their ballots in the presidential election, they are actually voting for a slate of electors who are pledged to support a particular candidate. These electors then convey after and the election to cast their votes for the president and vice president. So let me read that again. What was it? These electors then convey after the election and then cast their votes for president and vice president. Okay? chat-GPT just told you, yes, the Electoral College vote is the process by which the President of the United States is officially selected. When voters cast their ballots in the presidential election, they are actually voting for a slate of electors who are pledged to support the candidate, for a particular candidate. So basically, if they're a Republican in that state, and if it's a Republican state, a red or blue state, a red or blue state, they're going to keep it blue. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so that's what that says. In most states, the winner of the popular vote in that state receives all the electoral votes for that state. Let me read that again. In most states, the winner of the popular vote in that state receives all the electoral votes for that state. Now that's tricky. I think this has something to do with that different language, just like the Justice Department. When you read it, and it's like, okay, this sounds weird. There's no justification in this. But let's just read on. That candidate who receives the majority of the 538 electoral votes, more than 270, is declared the winner of the presidential elections. Let me read it again. In most states, the winner of the popular vote in that state receives the electoral votes for that state. The candidate who receives the majority of the electoral votes is declared the presidential election. Is the winner of the presidential election. It's important to note that the Electoral College vote ultimately determines the winner of the presidential election. The popular vote can sometimes differ from the Electoral College vote. This happened several times in U.S. history, including the most recent in 2016. Basically, when I can clearly see it, and the world didn't see this. I don't know if it was just convenient that it was such a racist time. You know what I mean? Basically, we've been experiencing racism, but in the white communities, since we close to having women and black presidents at that time, like the motion was really high, and I guess it was like, in the air was like people hated white men. Damn, bro. It's not like they didn't have a reason, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you changed. Anyway, I know all white men ain't bad, but let's go on to the next one. So they basically saying this happens a lot. This happened several times in U.S. history where the popular vote didn't coincide with the electoral college vote, but they particularly said the electoral college vote selects the president. So the people have never. You love this country so much. I know I sound like the biggest American hater, but I'm just bringing the facts to you, ladies and gentlemen. You love this country so much and they're constantly doing you dirty. That's not publicized how they do the white community dirty. I know, like, you know what I mean? I think I've talked about what Bank of America and Wells Fargo are doing to people. You know what I mean? And how the police that you cold-heartedly stand by are starting to kill innocent white men a lot, or, you know what I mean? Or whatnot. But anyway, I think this one more I need to read. So then I asked chat-GPT, well, who elects the electors then, huh? How about that? All right, let's hear it. So how does the electoral college get elected? The electoral college is a body of representatives who are responsible for electing the president of the United States. You heard that. The electoral college is composed of 530 electors, with each state and the District of Columbia having a number of electors equal to total number of members of Congress. So let me read that again because I didn't understand that. The Electoral College is composed of 538 electors, with each state and the District of Columbia having a number of electors equal to the total number of member Congress, 2 senators, and a variable number of representatives based on the popularity. Now that was confusing as hell, but we know this particular AI is basically everybody's thoughts on Google and everything that Google has obtained. And a lot of stuff Google has its knowledge it has is from people. So this is definitely kept in this American language that's similar to the language that we can't seem to understand in the justice system. Because it's clearly telling you, it's bringing up the District of Columbia. Like, what the hell does the District of Columbia have to do with each state? Oh, the electors and the District of Columbia. But let me read on. It pretty much says, it's pretty much telling that the District of Columbia has power over the electors you choose. Basically what it's saying, without saying it. Okay, so the electors are chosen by each state and the District of Columbia, and the selection process varies from state to state. Generally, political parties nominate a slate of electors at their state conventions or through other means, such as a primary election. That means basically if the state wants an election for the elector, they'll have it. But if they can't, basically they're saying, but if they can't control the electors, then the state picks the electors. So if the state is blue or red, then those electors damn sure are gonna pick the president candidate for their party. Nothing about policy, nothing about the people, nothing about ending racism. None of that has anything to do with the presidency at all. Alright? Let me read on. Yeah, so the electors are chosen by each state and the District of Columbia, and the selection process varies from state to state, generally through political parties nominee at a slate. Political parties nominate a slate of electors at their state conventions through other means, such as a prior to the election. Each political party in each state typically selects electors who are loyal and committed to voting for their party's candidate. He or she candidate if he or she wins the popular vote in that state. Yeah, if the player, you know what I'm saying? It means if. They only voting for somebody if they're willing to vote for their candidate. Why did they throw in if he or she wins? Why did you throw that in? On the day of the general elections, voters in each state and District of Columbia cast their ballots for their preferred candidate, not the people's preferred candidate, their preferred candidate. The candidate who receives the most votes in a particular state wins all the state's electors. Surprise, huh? The electors then meet in their representative state capitals in mid-December and cast their votes for the president and vice president. So you know what that could mean? That means Biden could have not picked Kamala. It's funny because I seen a video I think today where Kamala whatever Harris was questioning Biden about racism. Looked like she was winning, so it was a good move. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was all staged. So where was I? The selectors then meet in their prospective state capitals in mid-December and then cast their votes for president and vice president. The candidate who receives the majority of votes in the Electoral College, at least 720, is elected the president of the United States. So, boom. So imagine all these people that who told you you wasn't shit for voting. How you gonna change things? You want to vote? This information's been around probably longer than they've been alive. So these people think they're smart, bro. Like, but what I'm telling you is, now that I had my awakening years ago, what I'm telling you is there's people just as smart, bro, and they're just playing this game. It doesn't matter if you live or die. It's just like the doctors treating you for cancer when they could have told you to stop eating meat. You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't want this to get too long. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. And